Hey, what's going on, guys? The Langbang here. So I have a new profile for you. So I'm just going to be going over your basic Shaddoll deck. So I will say up front, as I always do, I mean, there's nothing too crazy about this build. I mean, you will see, pretty much the same build for the most part, but I do like to throw content out there every now and then. But one thing that I wanted to state is if you are a Shaddoll fan, I'm definitely going to have a lot of variants upcoming. So you have your regular Shaddolls, you can do Chaos Shaddolls, you can do Artifact Shaddolls, you can do Invoke Shaddolls, you can do like a trap based Shaddoll. So those are like the sort of ideas like I'm thinking off the top of my head, and also just ideas that I've seen online. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of variants of this deck in the upcoming days, weeks, or months. I don't know how often I'll upload. So let's just go into this. So you have three of the new one that can summon from the deck. Shaddoll, Wendy. So this card's absolutely amazing. It's also a psychic. Um, so nothing too crazy there. Two beast, two squamata, two hedgehog, two falco, one aerial. So this summons a banished one. I'll just pause there a second for that effect. And then you have a Shaddoll Dragon. So nothing too crazy there. I mean, a lot of people do use 3 Squamata. I don't. I mean, honestly, I just ran out of space. I think I'm at like 20 monsters or like really close to that. So, I mean, I think a lot of people can agree that when you see a good mixture of monsters and spells, you can typically just, create some pretty big boards, pretty nice ones, or at least be able to play. But if you have a handful of, just spells or a handful of just monsters, like, you're really not going to be able to do too much. So I just tried to, space around, the items. The one that I'm not using right now, which is a new one, is the Kaios or something along those lines, but that summons from the hand when it's sent to the grave for a fusion. Um, I mean, it's not awful. Maybe I will end up incorporating that at some point, but we'll see. So now non-Shaddolls, you have 2 Trick Clown and then 1 Damage Juggler. I've seen a lot of ratios with this. I don't really know if this is correct. I'm just seeing, how I like this for now. So 2 Trick Clown, 1 Damage Juggler. You can, you can send the Damage Juggler, get your Trick Clowns, or, you can just use Trick Clown from your hand or deck, and then, it'll go off. I don't know. I mean, I've seen Hat Tricker as well. I mean, I've seen, like, 3 of this, like 2 of this, I think. I've seen, like, 3 of this, 2 of this, and the Hat Tricker. I mean, it's really comes down to you, I guess. I'll be honest, like up front, I don't think I'll end up using pure Shaddoll, just because like I've been solitaring hands, and I mean, again, it goes back to that if you have a good mixture of monster and spells, you're like good to go. But sometimes you just run out of steam, or run out of materials in your hand, so that's why I may end up going the other routes that I was mentioning. And then you have 3 Mathematician. I like this because, it's another Foolish Burial. If really needed, you can have it sit on the board, hope that you can use its effect to draw a card. It just helps your plays, get going. It's basically another construct, except, just monster form and level 4 or lower. So, if you guys do want to up the Squamata just to go into the big combo, then, that works out. So I'm very bad when it comes to explaining combos, but there's just ridiculous boards you can do where you can fuse, you can go into cross sheep, and then from there, then you can end up banishing, the trap and the and construct from your grave to flip, the one that summons from the remove from play, and like it's very hard to like explain, and I'm trying to get the hang of it myself. And honestly, I may even try and like find like a turbo build to like go into these like really good plays. So just be on the lookout for that. So you have then 3 Shaddoll Fusion. You have 3 El Shaddoll Fusion. Just I think it's mandatory to use 3 of each. I mean, certainly the Shaddoll Fusion. L, I mean, iffy, I guess. Most used to. Um, I just think you have to fuse to play. I mean, as long as you just keep throwing cards out, you're gonna keep searching and doing stuff, and that just helps progress the game or help keep things rolling. So, 3 super poly. I mean, I think for the most part, almost like any deck I use here on out that like uses an extra deck, it's gonna have this card in there because there's just so many decks out there that build boards, and why not use a card that can help break it? 3 Call by the Grave. I don't really know if it's considered staple, but I mean, just the way I see it, it probably feels really, really bad to get one of your plays hand trapped. So I'm just trying to lower that risk. Then you have Instant Fusion, Reborn, Foolish Burial, Succession, Magicalized Fusion, and Shaddoll Fusion. So actually, right off the top of my head, I actually forgot to add Emergency Teleport because our new summon from the deck is a Psychic. So if you just want to find room for that somewhere. So Shaddoll Fusion, I like this because you can change the attributes. It can allow you to go into other fusions that you normally wouldn't be able to go into. So like Shekanaga is kind of tougher to go into. Grista, I mean, Wendigo, if you really want to use that. So, I mean, that's just one way to think about it. So, World Legacy Succession, I think this card's cool because if you do end up, doing a play with a construct on the board and it leaves the board right, then you can just bring it back. I think that's pretty cool, and then also it just allows you to link climb. I don't know if I would go with more than one. Magicalized Fusion, you'll actually see why I'm more so using that, but if I just pause for a second. Fusion, summon 1 fusion spellcaster fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from the field or graveyard. So I really wanted to use multiple of that as well. So the first thing you need to know is you can make Winda with this. So that's really cool. So just on the off chance, like, you don't have to use Shaddoll Fusion or El Shaddoll. If you already have the materials in the grave, go for it. Winda's just one of the best cards in the game. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, like, without Winda, I truly don't know, what this deck would be able to do. And then, like I said, just remember about the Emergency Teleport. I don't think I forgot anything else. Then for the traps, you have 2 Ref Shaddoll Incarnation and a Shaddoll Core. So let me just pause a second there. Okay. So a lot going on with this card. I mean, if you have to set it, cool. But, for the most part, you're going to be sending it to the graveyard with Construct just to do plays. But, it is really cool that you have a Call to Haunt and puts it face down too. So, and then Shaddoll Core, also serves as, a attribute manipulator. Just gives you another body, another way to recycle cards. So I just like that at 1. So onto the extra deck. So, potentially, if you're willing to, shell out a lot of money, you could probably upgrade this. So this is pretty budget. But just for now, I have 2 Construct. Sorry for the glare. I have 2 Winda. I have 1 Shekanaga. I have 1 Grista. I have a App Clone. Al Capone is what they call it. But it's really cool that you can negate a effect on the board. So that's pretty cool, especially if you can, like, bring it out during your opponent's turn. So 2 Shaddoll monsters with different attributes. He's a dark, so you could just have a set El Shaddoll Fusion, and then you could bring this out and negate something on their side of the field. So that's pretty cool too. So I think the only one I'm not using is Wendigo. I probably just said that. I'm kind of tired. So I think nothing too wild there. I mean, some people use 3 Construct. Honestly, space is a really big issue because there's a lot of cards I'd want to use that I just don't have room for. You have Thousand Eyes Restrict. Just insane with Instant Fusion. I mean, just to suck up some issue, you're not destroying. That's valuable. So here's a big reason why I'm using Magicalized Fusion. I'm not saying, I invented this or anything, because I, certainly didn't, but, you do see this pop up a little bit. So, Quintet Magician. So, it says 5 spellcaster monsters, so a lot of your guys are spellcaster types, so if you do end up Magicalizing Fusion, you can bring this out. It's 4,500, so that in itself is pretty crazy. I mean, the level doesn't matter, attribute doesn't matter either, I guess. But it says, must be fusion summoned. If this is fusion summoned using 5 spellcaster monsters with different names, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. That part's insane. So that part may not go off because you may have some duplicates. Hey, at the very least, you got a 4,500 beater on the board. I mean, that's bigger than anything in the game. I mean, that's being used. So that's crazy. But then the permanent effect, then, this face-up card on the field cannot be tributed nor used as fusion material. Also cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you have to destroy it by battle, basically, somehow. That's just crazy. Or, effect that gets rid of it that isn't destroying it. I just think that's nuts, so... Then I have some super poly targets. I have Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon, and I have Violet Chimera. So there is a card, Almerduke, says you need 3 link materials. So because of Spiral, I may end up just incorporating that. I think these 2 are still needed because you still kind of have Orcust everywhere. I mean, there's like other dark decks like Danger and all that. Salamangreat deck's still around somehow. I find that crazy. It's been hit on so many ban lists. I do want to find room for Elmerduke, but that may end up just being like a side thing, maybe? I don't know. Like I said, space is just insane. Onto the links. So you have Avramax. So that's like my most expensive card in the stack, even though it's like $30. Then you have Decode Talker, you have Crush Sheep, and then you have Land for Linkus. You probably could find something better than this Land for Linkus, especially when the Predaplant or that link comes out. I forget the name of it. It's in Dole Overload. It's absolutely insane. Just lets you search out a fusion spell or let you use it like from your deck and use it for its name or whatever. Cross Sheep's just amazing. Avramax, I did shell out the money for it just because Avramax and Wind is absolutely insane. I'll just pause there a second for that. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. That's insane. And then he has an attack, modifying effect. So, that's really hard to break out of because even like you basically need double impermanence or you can't even target that card with effects, so I really don't even know what you would do then. I don't know. I don't play that much to know that. You guys know that, but yeah, that was my profile just for now. Budget pretty standard. I had a lot of these cards for years. Went out and bought 3 structure decks. That's easily the best value I've seen in like years. It's even better than Dual Devastator. For $30 you get a playable deck right out of the box, and you could basically just build a deck from there. But yeah, that was it. Thank you guys for watching, and just be on the lookout for upcoming variants of this deck. Peace.